everyone, welcome to another fabulous Electronic Cafe interview episode. In this particular one, Mark and I have just had a fantastic conversation with TJ from the mighty Gift. Loving that band. It's a band that Mark made me aware of about 3 years ago, mate, wasn't it? And
yeah, I mean, it's such a great band from New York City. So many bands from New York City. Interesting that they're friends of our friends Simon Spine also. It's obviously a very buzzing community that's going on in New York. And it's great to talk to these bands. Not only do we talk to legendary artists like Vince Clarke and Thomas Dolby, we also like checking out these younger bands, these up and coming bands with brilliant new music.
Yeah, and you're right, they are brilliant. And if people in Electronic Cafe haven't checked them out, honestly, you're in for a sonic treat. Check them out. They're an amazing band. And Mark and I were talking earlier about the touch points that TJ draws from, quite an eclectic and very smart, knowledgeable young man in terms of, his love for Beatles, Nirvana, right up to modern day and all the Manc legends that we all love. He's got an incredible sonic palette, which kind of explains their music, mate, right?
And of course, there was number 13, I believe, in our albums of the year 2024. So hopefully people are aware of them, but if not, they will be after this episode. So I would suggest everybody dives in and has a look at the interview that we've just had with TJ. TJ, looking in the background, your synthesizers, is the top one a Korg Poly 800?
It is, yeah. Good, I saw your shirt, the Jupiter shirt.
Welcome to another great interview edition of the Electronic Cafe. Look, we so fell in love with this band Gift when their first album, Momentary Presence, was released in 2022. And then in August last year, they released the fabulous Illuminator album. It was so good, it featured in our top 30 albums of 2024. We're buzzing to welcome, all the way from the Big Apple, frontman TJ Freda. TJ, welcome, buddy, to the Electronic Cafe. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No, it's so good. And mate, look, congrats on this. You figured in our top 30, but I've seen some great reviews for this album. You must be really delighted with the feedback you're getting.
Yeah, it's been cool. It's kind of just starting to sink in because when we just released it, we went on tour for like 3 months straight. So it was kind of hard to process at the time, but we kind of got back and everything sunk in, like our Europe tour and US tour and everything. It's been really nice seeing like the end of the year love and everything.
Nice. Can I just say, what a beautiful piece of vinyl. I mean,
yeah,
that is a gorgeous piece of vinyl.
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't know they could do that, but we got like the options, and I was like, we have to do.
Yeah, mate, totally.
Black blob thing.
Yeah, it sounds as good as it looks, literally.
Yeah.
But TJ, going back, I mean, I discovered you on your first album, the Momentary Presence album, and reading your blog as I do, it seems that in 2020 you put the band together just by cherry picking all of your favorite musicians in the music scene, putting them together, hoping that it kind of worked because you never know if the chemistry's there, and that's how Gift was formed. I mean, how did that process all pan out? How did it work?
Yeah, so I moved from Boston in like 2018 to New York, and yeah, I had been playing in different bands like for my whole life, and I moved to New York with the intention to not have a band for once and just kind of live in a new place and kind of be a stranger to a city in a way, and that whole energy of like being a stranger to a city felt like romantic to me, and like I didn't have a band, no one knew me. I wasn't like part of a local scene. Like I was just kind of like a fly on the wall at gigs, which was really cool. And yeah, like a lot of my friends from my past bands had moved to the city, so I had started writing some songs just very casually with no intention of really doing much with it, because I really just wanted to take it easy and move to New York and get my bearings. But yeah, that quickly changed because Kallan, who plays bass in Gift, he heard some of the demos I was recording. He's like, oh man, we got to get into the room and like jam these out together. And then yeah, the band kind of very quickly assembled that way, and I kind of just picked my favorite people I'd met through touring in the past, and
Nice.
kind of just made a band together. And first and foremost, like the most important part was like, do I want to spend a lot of time with them? You know, like are we good friends? Or like I didn't just want to like pick the best players, but it so happened that I did pick the best players because those were the best people. So it kind of worked out really well.
I think I read like Jesse, Kallan, Justin, and Cooper. They all come from different parts of the US. Or is one of them from South America? Did I read that right, or am I completely wrong?
Gabe's family's from Brazil. Yeah. And sorry, yeah. So Cooper is not with us anymore. He's in a great band called Van Vreeland. They've been gigging around a lot. So yeah, Gabe came in to replace Cooper on drums this past like right before we started Illuminator.
Mate, what is it with New York? Because I know we talked about it briefly when we started recording, but it's such a creative hub. When you think of, you know, Talking Heads, Blondie, who I know Mark absolutely loves, LCD Sound System, Phantogram, our mutual friend Simon Spine. What is it in the air in New York that is such a creative hub? Can you put it down or anything?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Boston.
Sure.
My entire life, and when I got to New York, I think there was this. What I enjoyed about it was there's this buzz, which is like a cliche, of course, of talking about like the buzz of a big city. Like you could say the same about London or LA or whatever. But I think there's a sense of anonymity, and like in New York, where you can kind of just be your own person. Like people can grow in different directions. Like there's endless roads to travel down, and interests and stuff like that. So yeah, I think in music, yeah, I don't know. I think there's like an energy, there's like a slight competitiveness, but it's like a friendly competitiveness in New York that I've like realized, where everyone's just trying to like make really cool stuff and like do the coolest thing. So it's interesting. Like there's definitely a community here, but I think there's a lot of work that happens like, you know, within little cliques too in New York.
Sure.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
DJ, looking in the background, your synthesizers, is the top one a Korg Poly 800?
It is, yeah. I saw your shirt, the Jupiter shirt.
That was my second synthesizer.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I got it because I've been following. I have a Juno down there, and I'm a huge gear nerd, but I saw the Juno's prices like going up from like, I don't know, 2010 to like 2024, and I was like, wow, they're like so expensive. And I saw that the Poly 800 was still cheap, and I knew from like reading that like that was kind of a competitor at the time, but it was a little like more menu divey. It was a competitor to the Juno, so I got that one for really cheap, and I just wanted to try it out, and they're like growing in price a bunch, so I want to get a bunch before they
out of reach.
Is it Juno 6 or a Juno 106?
It's a 106, yeah.
So that's the one you can store the patches on that one.
Yeah, I originally had a Juno 6 that I bought during the pandemic from a guy in like Long Island, and he was like the original owner, and I loved it. And it was kind of my first like real synth that I got. I ended up trading that for a Juno 60, and then I liked it, but the 106 has this. It's a little bit less chunky in a way, and I think it sits under rock music a little bit better. Like the Juno 60 is like really present. This is like a little. It just sounds a little bit different, which I like.
Well, I had a Juno 6, and about 10 years ago I sold it, and within months I didn't need the money or anything. I don't know why I sold it. I mean, they're totally impractical because you can't store any sounds, and you have to.
Yeah,
but it was a really nice bit of kit to have. And then I looked at it 18 months ago about rebuying one, and the price has just shot up massively for them. So
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, my new one that I've been getting. I just got the Sub Fatty, which is
really
yeah. That's been blowing my mind. It's cool because Justin, who's in the band, spent a lot of time in Asheville, and he's always been a Moog guy, and he has Moogs on stage and Moog factories in Asheville, which is now just closed as of like last year. He was always like, "I think you're really gonna like it." And I was like, "Yeah, it's a mono. I need like polysynth." So yeah, I finally got one like two months ago, and it's
got some nice fat sounds on that. Nice one.
Yeah, it's really nice.
So what is the process for writing a GIF song? I mean, I don't think you're all in New York all the time. I mean, what's the process? Do you all write and it comes together, or do you write and everyone adds their bits? I mean, how does the songwriting work for Gift?
Yeah, I mean, the first album was out of like circumstance. The pandemic was happening, so it just kind of was. Yeah. I've always been a self-recorder, and that's what I enjoy. It's an interesting thing because what started as a solo project has turned into a collaborative effort, but there's still like some level of like a solo project in it too with a full band. So it's always kind of like a case by case, you know. We actually are all mostly in New York all the time. Kallan, our bass player, owns a venue called Alphaville. That's like a popular venue here, and like the whole band works there. It's just like a whole group thing. I think me and Justin are the only ones who don't work there.
What are your touch points? I mean, listening to your music, there's shoegaze, there's dream pop, there's krautrock, there's psychedelic. I mean, what's your touch points in growing up? What was like the music you love and listen to, and what bleeds into your songwriting?
Growing up was like Nirvana started everything. That's what kickstarted it all. I think I listened to Nirvana for like 5 years straight, only that. And then I got really into heavy stuff. My mom was like a big metalhead, so I listened to all like the 80s, like Judas Priest stuff, really heavy music. And then, kind of around then I got really into more like indie stuff. I think I wasn't necessarily like a cool music listener. Like I was really just listening to like a lot of like old music forever. Like I got really into, Zeppelin and Pink Floyd and everything like that. But yeah, until like kind of got to high school, that's when I started getting to new bands, and then I got really into MGMT and Spiritualized and Spaceman 3 and Primal Scream and like all those bands that like weren't necessarily like the Guitar Hero bands, you know.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm inspired by a lot. Like I'm really into hip hop too. I really like. I've been like a devout Aphex Twin my whole life, and
yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of jump around a lot. And lately I've been thinking about what really draws me to music. And I think like energy is like a big one.
Yeah.
Energy behind music and like interesting production is a lot. But lately I've been trying to challenge myself to listen to more lyrics and melody. That's what I did with Illuminator. That was like a conscious effort to focus on melody and like songwriting a lot more than like painting an abstract palette of kind of meandering song structures.
Yeah, the production on your albums is great, though. I mean,
thank you.
Sound, the clarity in some, there's that really nice scratchy sound on the first track on your album, that in that rhythm, it sounds so good. And you know, Mark got me into you guys, as I mentioned, he and I were constantly going, check this out, check this out. I think one of Mark's friends said me and Mark are the equivalent of musical truffle pigs, because we're trying to just find new stuff all the time. But yeah, when we first heard this album, it was great, and my reaction was the same as Mark's, like, whoa, your sound is so good and so distinctive. But when you, I mean, I just found out you played the UK last year, gutted to have missed you. Was that your first time in the UK?
We played Shackle Arms in like February 2023.
Oh wow, the Shackleton Arms. Yeah, we go there quite a bit.
Yeah, it's cool. That was our first London gig. It's
when you do that, though, do you notice the reaction and feel it? Like you're thinking that they're getting us, and the same reaction that Mark and I got when we heard you. Do you feel it when you played your first few gigs here?
Yeah, I mean the UK is like Europe and the UK have been super good to us and like really understand the vision. I mean it's kind of the music we're making. When we went to Manchester, we're just like, yeah, this is where all of our favorite bands are from, like Stone Roses and, you know, Oasis even, and like all. It was just like, it's cool. Like I think there's a little bit more knowledge of you know, where stuff has come from, like My Bloody Valentine and Spiritualized and Primal Scream and all that stuff. And so I think the people who are like into cool music like really get it, but we also get like a lot of people who are just don't know the touchstones we're kind of referencing, and that's like a light reference, you know. Like I was listening to a lot of other stuff when we were doing it, but I think the backbone of what we really like is predominantly like UK based 90s bands.
Hey, that's not a bad thing. I mean, for time and we're not bad at making music.
Yeah, I mean, like the Verve, like I think the Verve's like extremely underrated. They didn't really, but again, like they're really big in the UK, but in the States, like people, they're kind of a one-hit wonder, which is really weird to me. Where it's like, yeah.
I can imagine what track that is as well. Bittersweet Symphony, right?
Yeah.
And you're right. There's so much more to the Verve. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, Storm in Heaven is like one of the best albums of all time.
Oh, yeah,
great. Yeah.
Great.
For your first album, you brought out a bit later, you brought out a remix album to accompany it, which was only available, which I've got on download. Are you going to do a similar thing for the second album?
Yeah, we got some stuff working right now. I can't really say like who's doing it, but there's some really cool people involved. We're kind of buttoning that up, so that should be coming this year.
Do you give them a free hand, just go do whatever you want with it, and you just wait for the results, or is there some sort of guidance as in how you want it?
Not really. The last time we got a lot of people on it, which is cool. It was cool. There was like a lot of it was awesome. This one we're getting a little bit slimmer and trying to do, you know, curate it a bit more, because we think certain people could do a certain thing, you know. So yeah, it's interesting. My barometer is usually like if we can DJ it'd be cool. But if someone did a weird like noise remix of it with just white noise and stuff like that, I'd welcome that too.
You'd sign it off.
It's interesting just to hear people's takes on it. Like I do a lot of remixes for everyone else. Like I said, like I have a remix coming up for Simon's Fine on Tuesday. Well, the 27th will probably be broadcasted before then. But
I love those guys.
Yeah, so it's interesting just hearing, you know, when I was doing the Simon's Fine remix, they were like, wow, you like turned the verse into the chorus and it sounds like poppy, or I don't know, it's everyone's tendencies kind of show whether or not they're making electronic music or just remixing something. I think it's more like your songwriting ear starts to show of how you reapproach other people's music. So
and being the purist that Mark and I are, and I know where Mark was probably going with this remix stuff, any chance of these coming out on vinyl?
It's a good question. I have to talk to the label. No, I'm not sure. They've got like a plan. I think there's definitely going to be like a deluxe edition coming this year. So.
Oh, really? Oh, excellent. Well, that's great. And I know you mentioned, and I can't believe we missed you last year. I'm inside as we're talking. I'm so angry that we didn't. You guys, are you coming back to the UK, Europe anytime soon, or in the future, or?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be there this year. We're still trying to figure out the rest of the year, but
yeah, I know it's not easy. I know it's expensive, but when you do, please let us know. One, so we can tell everyone on the Electronic Cafe to come down and see you, and two, so we can have a pint with you.
yeah, totally. Yeah, we love London.
We know both the venues that you played. I mean, the Moth Club especially. I mean, it's like going back into pretty much the 1980s when you walk into that club. It just feels like
the 50s.
Yeah, it was great. It was really cool.
Yeah, we saw a certain ratio there, didn't we?
Yes, we did. We were our #1 album last year. Great bunch of guys. I don't know if you know them. Classic, again, Manchester Factory record label legends. Yeah, it's a great venue. Really good venue. Yeah, mate, let us know. We would love to see you guys live, because you know you sound awesome on vinyl. And I say I'm still sitting there going, "Fuck, how did we miss you?"
DJ, here's a question we ask everyone we speak to, and in the UK we have this thing called Desert Island Discs. I don't know if you understand what it is in the US. Is it something you have? But basically, if you're on a desert island, what would be the one album that you took with you? So for you, I mean, you've obviously got a lot of influences from Nirvana through to the Manchester scene.
DJ.
What would be your Desert Island disc?
Thought about this question a lot. And it's
probably change tomorrow, mate. That's the thing.
Yeah, I'll let you know next week. It's a little tough, because if we're talking about like my favorite album of all time, that would be that's a hard one. But there's a bunch of different ones. But I think for Desert Island, like if I'm stuck on a desert island, I want a little bit of variety. And I'm going for length. So I feel like the Beatles' White Album would probably be the one, just because that's something that has a lot of different variety on it. It's weird, it's long, there's different voices on it. But if we're talking an album that I could listen to every single day for the rest of my life, that wouldn't be out of necessity and drive me mad, probably Spiritualized, Laser-Eyed Melodies.
Wow, that's a great shout. That's a great shout.
Yeah, two good choices there.
Yeah, amazing. And we would never have guessed them, mate. And just as a bit of a fun question, dinner for four for TJ. Who would you want at your table? For you sitting there going, right, I want a table for four, obviously is yourself. Who's the other three lucky guys apart from me and Mark that get to join you?
Dead or alive?
Yeah.
That's a tough one. Maybe I'm trying to think of what would be like the best conversation, because I think a lot of the people I would pick, it would just be silence. Man, like probably Pete Kember. That's one. Like he'd be a hoot to be around. I want to say like put Joni Mitchell in there.
Yeah.
You know, in
one more.
Her young days. Yeah, and
you must have Kurt Cobain, mustn't you? Surely.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I've always wanted to like talk to Kevin Shields. He seems like an elusive character, so maybe that Joni Mitchell, Pete Kember, and Kevin Shields. I don't really know what that says about that dinner, but that'd be interesting.
It's as good a choice as any. Well done. It's a difficult question. Well done. Well handled.
Well done, mate. And just a sort of closing question from us. Any new bands you can recommend at the moment? Because that's something Mark and I do, and obviously you're very in touch with the scene over there. Any bands you want to sort of say to our audience they should be checking out, or you think they're worthy of a call out from TJ of gift?
Yeah, there's a few. There's a band called Crate that has one single out that I co-produce with them on. They're releasing their next single in like a couple weeks, and they're great, like really good shoegaze, but like kind of electronic in a way too. It's nice. They're great. Yeah. Crate's a good one. Our friends Sunflower Bean are releasing an album soon, so that's going to be great. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with their stuff. Just saw our friend Greg Freeman play the other day. His album is like a couple years old, but he's getting like a lot of traction right now, and he's an incredible person and a great live band. Yeah, New York. There's so many right now. There's another great band with Emily from Geese and Olive from Sunflower Bean called Stars Revenge. That's really, really great. They have a album that came out last year.
Viewers that haven't got this, I mean, it figured hard in our chart for a reason. Go get it. It's a fucking great piece of work, you know, and we're obviously big fans. Really want to see you in the UK, and I'm still fucking angry we missed you last year. I'm not going to go easy, but we'll make up for it when we see you when you come up. Look, let us know what you're doing. Any new stuff that's coming out, let us know so we can put it on our socials and just tell people, because that's what we're about. You know, we really believe in you guys, and we think you're an amazing band. And you're a super nice guy and very talented also, judging by the music you're producing, mate. So keep doing what you're doing. We love it.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, because there's 1,000% we're not missing you next time, mate.
Yeah.
Take care. Cheers, buddy.
Cool. All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.